So you've survived a narcissistic relationship. You've gotten out of that relationship and you're looking at yourself now wondering, how do I set appropriate boundaries? How do I know what boundaries are even normal? How do I know what boundaries are acceptable? And how do I know when I am the one who is just being too rigid? We're going to talk about all of that and more in this video. Hey, I'm Dr. Melissa. I'm a trauma expert and top doctor. And in this video and on this channel, I help you identify the hidden narcissists in your life, then turn that trauma into gold, becoming stronger and more powerful than you ever were before. If that sounds right up your alley, click subscribe, click that notification bell so that you don't miss a thing. So I got a great question this week. A woman asking, how do I know what appropriate boundaries are? How do I know if I'm the one being rigid or unreasonable? How do I know if I'm taking a stand for myself? And it really struck me how, as narcissist victims, who then become narcissist survivors, this is such a challenge each and every day. We spend all of this time in those narcissistic relationships in a place where having boundaries is not allowed. It's not safe. The boundaries are not honored and respected. And we are put down or belittled or shamed for setting boundaries as if something is wrong with us. And so when we are out of those relationships, it becomes really challenging to know what boundaries are actually acceptable. So let's break this down into two categories. First, let's talk about boundaries around yourself, your person. So setting boundaries for yourself, for your own physical, mental, spiritual, emotional being are always appropriate and acceptable. And boundaries might look like, I'd like you to lower your voice and not yell at me. Or I need you to walk away and come back when you can speak with me in a calm manner. Or I need you not to use that type of language with me. It might be regarding touching your physical space. Something like, I need you to give me a little personal space. I need you to not look over my shoulder right now. I need you to take your hand off of me. It could be, get your hand off my ass. Anything related to your physical body and your physical space is within the realm of completely appropriate boundaries. And it is your responsibility to set them. Because people who don't honor and respect other people's boundaries, they don't see it. They don't get it. They don't know that this is an obvious boundary violation. Let's think about something related to your emotional health. So it might be, I need you not to send me these feisty political emails, or I need you not to tag me in this kind of post. It distorts my energy. It makes me feel crabby or sad. I don't want to see that sort of thing. And then if someone doesn't honor that boundary, you can block them, you can delete the emails without looking at them. You have a variety of options, but it's entirely within your right to say, I don't want to see this sort of thing. That impacts my emotional health. Or I don't wish to discuss politics with you. I don't wish to discuss COVID with you. I don't wish to discuss anything in particular because you're taking care of your own emotional health in that moment. Likewise, your personal space. This gets wrapped up in physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Your personal space could be the physical distance that they are from you. It could be things that you perceive as being really nosy. I don't need to reveal my finances to you. Or I don't need to answer the question about when or if I plan on having children. It's none of your business. That's an entirely acceptable boundary. It's one that families cross all the time, and yet it's an entirely acceptable boundary for you to set. You have the right to set boundaries about your things. You may not take my car. You may not look at my phone. You may not go through my purse. You may not go take things out of my bathroom drawer and not put them back. You may not go through my desk in a work environment. With regard to your things, it's entirely within your right to set boundaries and to enforce those boundaries. You can set boundaries about the way you behave and how you participate and experience life. For example, I will not gossip with you. I will not shoplift, and I will not be around you when you are shoplifting. I will not use drugs, and I will not be around you when you're using drugs. You may not talk about so-and-so around me or my children. Those are entirely appropriate boundaries. An appropriate boundary is anything that has to do with what you are willing to accept for your person, physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, and for your things. Now let's talk for a minute about what inappropriate boundaries might be. And those are boundaries that you set about other people. Now, if you're setting boundaries to other people for the way you expect yourself to be treated, that's entirely acceptable. But setting boundaries for the way you want someone else to behave that has nothing to do with you is not. So if you were to say to a partner, you may not cheat on me, that will end this relationship, that is entirely acceptable, because you're just setting a limit for what you are willing to tolerate and accept in the relationship. The other person has the ability to do whatever they want. They're going to do whatever they want. And you've just set a very clear endpoint for the fact that that will end the relationship if that boundary is crossed. Now, it would not be appropriate to say to someone else, you have to come spend Christmas Day with me. How they spend Christmas Day is up to them. It has nothing to do with you. It might have to do with what you want, but whether they choose to do something else on the holiday or not is not an invasion or compromise of your personal being. Likewise, if you were to say to a business partner, I am willing to do this, this, and this, and I'm willing to invest this much in terms of time and financial resources into the business in exchange for you doing X, Y, and Z, you've set a very clear boundary or laid out very clear expectations for what you're going to contribute and what you expect them to contribute to make it an effective partnership. It is not an appropriate boundary to say, I'm standing up for myself and I'm going to make you do something that you don't want to. Then you're violating their boundaries. So when we break this down, it's really important to remember the boundaries as they impact other people are only in regard to how you are treated. They're not in regard to how someone else is treated. That's up to that person to set their own boundaries and for you to honor them. It can be a challenge, especially after living life for so long where you really didn't set any boundaries. It's very common for victims of narcissistic abuse to have great difficulty in setting boundaries, and learning how to do it effectively and appropriately is so important for moving forward into the future. If you resonate with that, if you can see how they are connected, type boundaries move me forward into the comments. Then share this video with someone who needs to hear this message right now. If you know that you would like more support around this, I invite you to join me in my free private Facebook group, Anti-Fragile Narcissist Survivors. And if you'd like to subscribe to my newsletter where you are kept up to date with tips just like this from all of the platforms, join me at narclesslife.com. I'm Dr. Melissa, and I'll see you in the next video.